Hey, good morning, everyone. So, today we'll try to understand how we can perform looping in Workfront Fusion. So, here we have a project message. Okay, you have details regarding the project here. Okay, and then you have details regarding the project's task. Okay, you have three tasks here. This is task number one, task number two, and task number three. Now, the question is how can we map uh, the project message from this format to this format. So this is the output format. So we need to map from this particular input format to this particular output format. If you see this output format, the field names are slightly different. Okay, you can see ID has to be mapped to project ID, name has to be mapped to project name, object code has to be mapped to project type, description has to be mapped to project description, task to task list, and this is basically an array. Okay, you have a task array, and the question is how can you map this task array to this particular format, right? That's the question, right? All the other fields are pretty easy to map. ID can be mapped to project ID, so direct mapping. Name can be mapped to project name. Direct mapping. Object code to project type is again a direct mapping. Description to project description is again a direct mapping. But then how do you map from this particular format to this particular format, right? Basically, you need to loop through these stars, okay, and map it to this particular format, right? How do you do that in Workfront Fusion? But in Fusion, what you need to do is you need to split these stars first, okay? You need to split these stars first, and then map from this ID to task ID, name to task name, object code to task name, description to task description. You need to map these fields, okay? And then you need to aggregate all these tasks once again, okay? That's what we are going to do here. Let's see that in action. Let's get started. Okay, so let's create the scenario. So first of all, let's fetch the project message, input project message. So how can we do that? Let's try to query a project. So let's try to say Adobe Workfront custom API call, and I'm going to query one project. So basically I've already created one project with three tasks. So I'm just going to query this project, okay, using this particular custom API call module. Okay, so here what I've done is I'm just searching for a project where ID equal to so and so, and then I want to pull out the project fields, name and description, and I also want to pull out the task name, task description. Okay, that's what I need to pull out, and that will formulate my input message, and then I can convert from that input project message to my output project message. Okay, so let's see that. Now let's click on OK here and let's save it. Okay, and let's try to run this module. So I got the output. So let's see the output here. Basically, this is my output. You have the project fields here, and you have the task array here. So you have task number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. So I got that. Now let's try to, first of all, let's see the looping logic. First, I need to split the task, and then I need to perform the mapping, and then I need to aggregate the task. Okay, that's what I need to do here. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, first of all, let's split the task using an iterator, flow control, iterator, and let's split the task. So go to the task array, and I want to split the task. Okay, so just map the task array here. Okay, now if you click on OK, and then let's try to run it. Okay, run anyways. And here, as you can see, it's actually splitting the task. This is the task number 1, task number 2, and task number 3. Perfect. What is the next step? perform the mapping. Okay, so let's try to map it to the output format. So what is the output format? If you go to the output format, these are the output format, right? So task ID, so let's map the task ID. So let's try to add tools, set multiple variables. So we need to use set multiple variables, add variable. So what is the first field name? Task ID. So just put task ID here and map ID to task ID. Perfect. And then what is the next field? Task name. Okay, just add that item here, task name, and then map name to task name. Perfect. Now what is the next field? Task type. Add item here, task type. We need to map object code to task type. Perfect. Okay, so let's click on add. What is the next field here? Task description. Okay, now we need to map description to task description. Okay, so we have done the mapping here. Perfect. That's great. Now what is the next step? Next step is basically to aggregate all the tasks. So let's try to run it first of all, and then we'll try to aggregate it. Okay, so I got the, you know, mappings here. The tasks are mapped into different variables. Okay, now let's try to aggregate it. Okay, this is 1, 2, and 3. So 3 tasks are here, and we have it in our particular format, which is the output format. Now we need to aggregate it. Aggregate. Okay, so let's use flow control. Array aggregator. Okay, so basically what is a source module? So how do you select the source module? Always ask this question: where is the split happening? The split is definitely happening here. Here we are splitting, as you can see, is splitting into 3 bundles. The split is happening here. So let's try to refer that particular module. The split is happening in iterator 8. Perfect. Now, what are the fields that you need to aggregate? We need to aggregate task ID, task name, task type, task description. Okay, that's perfect. So it is aggregated. Now that's perfect. So let's try to save it. Save anyways, and then let's try to run it. Okay, so basically, if you see here, it is aggregated into one particular array. Okay, and this is in our output format. Perfect. This array is in our output format: task ID, task name, task type, task description. They have 3 tasks here. Okay, perfect. Now what do we need to do? We need to finally create a, an output JSON message. How do you do that? Very simple, using create JSON. Create JSON, create JSON. Okay, now you need to give the data structure here. So let's add a data structure, and let's try to use this particular name here. Okay, and what is the output format? You need to give the output format here. So let's copy the output format from our message. Click on generator and copy the output format here, and let's try to save this, and it will generate the data structure for us. Okay, now let's click on save here. Okay, and basically the data structure is created for us. Now we can perform the mapping. Okay, project ID is direct mapping, as I mentioned. Very simple mapping here: ID to project ID, name to project name. Very simple mapping. Okay, direct mapping from the project details, name to project name. Now project type, object code to project type. Okay, now this project description, again a very simple direct mapping: description to project description. Okay, perfect. Now what is the next step? Map the aggregated array here. Okay, aggregated message here. So just click on map here, and then we have the aggregated message here. The array is here, and we need to map that array here. basically the task array which we have aggregated in the previous module. That's what we are going to map here. Okay, and please make sure that you enable this this button here, this option here, so that you can map the aggregated task array here. Okay, and that's all you need to do here. And if you run this, okay, you will get the project message in the desired output format. Okay, let's try to see that here. Perfect. So here it is. Here it is. The output format is here. So if you just copy this, let's try to copy this and let's try to analyze the output format. Let's see that here. Okay, let's try to format. Yeah, basically you have the task list, task 1, task 2, task 3, and task 3, and basically you have the project details here. So basically we have it in our decide format. Now we can basically call another target API using this format. For example, if you want to post this message to another API, you can do that by using an HTTP module. Let's say HTTP, let's call an API, let's call make a request API, and then you need to give your API details. Okay, let's say something of that sort, and then you need to give your body type as, let's say, raw, content type JSON, and then you can give your request content here. Whatever we have formulated, the JSON message is what you need to give here, JSON string, and basically you can post this particular message to the API, and basically the project will be created in the target application. So this is a hypothetical situation which I'm just showing it for you. Okay, so this is it. I hope this was useful. Have a great day.